Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. This video will introduce you to some of the basic instruments and setup required for drafting. We'll start with the most important part, the surface on which you're going to draw, that is the drawing board. So as you can see, this is the drawing board, and you will need a drawing board of at least 58 centimeters by 80 centimeters. So this is the smallest board that you can have for drafting. So we should all get one, and the drawing board should have a straight edge. That means the edge should be exactly straight. I'll explain to you why it is required in a short while we start drafting. So this is the first thing that you need. The most important instrument that you are going to use is the T-scale, and I think it is obvious why it is called a T-scale. It is also known as a T-square. A T-scale is used mainly to draw horizontal lines, only horizontal lines, and this is how you place it. And now I think you understand why it is required to have a straight edge for the drawing board, because the straightness of the horizontal lines drawn by the T-scale depends on the straightness of this edge of the drawing board. That is why we use the T-scale along with the drawing board. That is why the straight edge is important for a drawing board. So you have to make sure that nothing happens to this edge, or else you will have to maintain it as straight edge. The next instrument that we are going to explain is the set square. So you might have used as set squares in your school time, the small set squares, the 45 set square and the 30-60 set square. But this time here we are going to use an adjustable set square. First of all, this is much bigger than the set squares that you have been using in school, because you are going to make bigger lines, longer lines in this. And another important aspect is we are going to make lines which are inclined in all sorts of angles, not just 30, 45 or 60. So you need an adjustable set square, and I'll explain how it is used. Basically, it is used along with your T-scale to draw angles. So in this case, you can draw a perpendicular or a 45-degree line like this. If you place it this way, you can draw a 45-degree line here and a 45-degree line there. See, the advantage of using an adjustable set square is that you can adjust this to any angle. You just have to loosen the screw and adjust it to any angle which is shown here. So you can have any angle from 0 to 90. So in its base position, these two angles are 45. And as you adjust this way, for example, you adjust it till here. See the markings here, it says 30 and 60. So that means you adjust it here and tighten the screw. You have 30 on this side and 60 on this side. So place it back to the T-scale. If you draw a line here, that will be 30 degrees. If you draw a line here, that is going to be 60 degrees. So that is how you use a adjustable set square. But always keep in mind that the base edge should be aligned with the T-scale, and the T-scale should be aligned with the straight edge. This is important for accuracy. So you always have to keep your hand here, make sure that it is properly aligned. Place one hand on the T-scale, keep the set square aligned with the T-scale, and then draw the lines. You can draw any set of parallel lines by moving the set square or the T-scale. We saw how to draw lines with T-scales and set squares, but how will we make sure that it is of the exact length that we need? For that, we will be using scale sets. This is one of the scale sets that we use, and it is known as the triangular scale. So all these edges have different markings and readings on them. We will explain why we have all those scales in it. Another scale, or another type of scale that we use is this. See, nothing special about it. It's almost similar to the scales, 30 centimeter scales that you have been using in school. But here again, if you notice, you can see that there are readings on both sides and they are not the same. There are readings on the other side, and there again it is different. We will be having a chapter on scales. In that we will explain why we have all these different markings on the scales. But for now, just pay attention to this edge, and it is written as full size or 1:1. That means it has the exact same dimensions as the scales that you have been using till now, like even in the T scale and in the set square. Apart from these, you will have to use all the commonly used instruments, including the compass, protractor, etc. They may not be very commonly used, but still it may come in handy, so it's better to have them all. Now, to draw these lines, you need pencils. See, the most common type of pencils that we have used till now will be the HB pencil. Pencils come in various darkness and hardness, starting from 8H or 9H, which is the hardest pencil. Then comes 8H, 7H, 6H, 5H, 4H, 3H, 2H, H, and then HB. And after that starts the black pencils, that is the soft pencils, B, 2B, 3B, 4B, 5B, 6B, 7B, 8B, and up to 9B. So the H pencils are hard, and the lines that they make are very light. So as the H value increases, the lines drawn by the pencil will become lighter because the graphite used in the pencil will be harder. So for example, 9H lines will be much lighter than 8H lines. 8H lines will be lighter than 7H lines. The B pencils are soft pencils which are used to create darker lines because the graphite used is very soft, and as the B value increases, the lines become darker. For example, 9B lines will be much darker than 8B lines. 8B lines will be darker than 7B lines. So HB is actually midway in the spectrum, so it is neither soft nor hard. It gives an average kind of line. So to draw darker lines, you have to use B pencils, and to draw lighter lines, we use H pencils. So you will need at least 5 of these variances. HB, of course you will need 1, and you will need from the darker side 2B pencil, 5B, and from the lighter side you will need H and at least till 2H. So right now I have 5 pencils, starting from the lightest one 2H, then comes H, HB, then moving on to the darker side, B and 5. These exact values are not important. You will need at least 5 different grades of pencils, and these are the commonly used ones. You can have grades like 2H and 4H if you want, and in the darker side you can go for B, 3B, 4B, or B, 3B, 6B. It's up to you, but you will need at least 5 of these pencils. The next thing you will need is sellotape. Sellotape is basically used to fix the sheets on your table before drafting, because as you know, it is important to fix your sheets to make sure that the lines you draft are accurate. Because as we have discussed before, horizontal lines are drawn with T-scale and the inclined lines or perpendicular lines are drawn with the set square. So it is very important to make sure that your sheet doesn't move while you are drafting. See, the sheet that you see here is in fact the base sheet, which I fixed with sellotape on the corners and the edges so that it doesn't move. So apart from these basic important instruments, you will need other stuff like an NT cutter or a sharpener, eraser, and a sandpaper. Sandpaper is used to ensure that your pencils remain sharp at all times, because every time you draw a line, the tip becomes blunt, and to ensure that the tip is sharp, you have to use the sandpaper every time.